Welcome to the first of 3 short presentations on assessment. These are intended to get us started with assessment and provide a bird's-eye view of the assessment process. Assessing student learning should be as natural a process to instructors as breathing. After all, we know that we haven't really taught until our students have learned. We do need to have rigorous and thorough assessment programs, but we also need to have realistic ones so that they'll be sustained over time. We need to create assessment programs that will provide enough of the right kind of data to help us make those good decisions. In engaging in a formal, systematic approach to assessment, we are looking for information that will help us answer the questions, what have students learned? And how well have they learned it? Assessment seeks to provide answers that help instructors know how they can adjust their teaching, and assessment can point to ways that will enable students to learn better. Three Rivers College is accredited by the Higher Learning Commission of the North Central Association of Colleges and Schools, HLC. HLC requires that we engage in multiple levels of assessment. The first is assessing programs. Here we look at aggregating data from the program to tell us how well students as a whole are meeting the program goals and how to improve the program. That is, assessment looks at aggregated data collected across all students, compared with grading, which evaluates an individual student's progress. The second is general education assessment. For a community college, general education is of primary importance, and as such is singled out as one of the most important elements to assess. Along with assessing programs and assessing general education, we have a third element called program review. This is a formal examination of all important program aspects, including student learning, but extending beyond that to things such as faculty performance and future program needs. Program reviews usually take place on a multi-year cycle. Although accreditors have something to say about doing assessment, this is not our main motivator. We do assessment because we want to do it. We want to know how to make good decisions in order to know where and how to improve. Because resources can be limited, we want to ensure we use them wisely. We not only want to be able to tell our stakeholders that teaching and learning is happening, but we also want to provide evidence to back up those claims. It helps if in the process of implementing an assessment program, we remember that our goal as instructors is that students learn. Assessment is one of several means used to accomplish that. So we understand that assessment is not an end in itself. It helps us improve teaching and learning. So always remember to keep it simple. Keeping assessment simple is important. Complex and unwieldy assessment programs die, usually after they've buried several faculty along the way. As Barbara Walvard says in her book, Assessment Clear and Simple, keep it simple, get it done. It's not uncommon for educators to say that they've done assessment and point to a report or a file or some other artifact that exists in their department. Now, reports are good things, but if we stop at generating reports, we'll have done a lot of work for very limited return. The purpose of assessment is not to generate data or even a report. The primary purpose is to take action, Not just any action, but action that makes a difference in our choice of instructional strategies or our pedagogy or in student learning. A good assessment programs have certain characteristics. First is that they are robust. That is, they don't rely on just one data point, but use multiple assessment strategies. This is often called triangulating. The result of this is an increased confidence in the data used to make decisions or improvements. Assessment's also an ongoing process. It's built to last. It's intended to be a repeating process. It's not one and done with assessment. And assessment programs also need to be relevant. Relevant to the discipline, to the students taught, and to the level of instruction. If assessment programs are not built with relevance in mind and relevant data are not produced, then any outcomes of assessment are unlikely to be used, which is not a good return on all one's efforts. As has been mentioned, we do assessment at different levels for different purposes. We do course assessment within and across sections of courses. Here we might be focusing on specific student learning outcomes, and it may be ongoing or periodic. We also do program assessment, and this looks at program outcomes, both the student outcomes and student learning outcomes. This may be, again, ongoing or periodic. And thirdly, we do assessment at the program review level, and this is comprehensive and programmatic. So, let's do assessment of student learning well and learn something useful from it so action can be taken to improve.